Yeah, we can now, Mr. Shell.
Okay, thank you very much. Um, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Greenwood Advisory Plan Commission for January 12th. The first thing I'd like to do is announce that Mr. King has been reappointed to a new four-year term beginning with this meeting. And Mr. Lexi has been nominated once again by the City Council, the legislative body member. And so, Mr. Lexi, welcome back for another year. And as I understand it, the park board seat is now vacant. Is that true, Ms. Kuhn?
That is correct. The
Okay.
park board has not met in January to appoint a member to the plan commission for this year, but we anticipate that will happen at their meeting tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you very much. So tonight we'll have 8 members present. It'll still take 5. Voting one way or another, a 4-4 does not settle anything. It just carries on. The first thing I'd like to do is ask for a motion to allow Mr. King to run this meeting, as I am not present in the council chamber. I'm on the Zoom. And I'd like to remind everybody that with one member coming in remotely, all votes must be by roll call.
So I would recommend a motion to suspend Plan Commission Rule Procedure 701 to allow the Vice President to preside over the meeting, even though the President is attending.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll now do a roll call vote. Mr. Walker?
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
that an aye?
That's a yes. Aye. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Milborn?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Ms. Stambaugh?
Aye.
Mr. Lexi?
Aye.
Mr. Peony?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. Mr. King, please proceed with running the meeting.
All right. Next item is the election of the Plan Commission officers, as we are required to do by state statute every year at our first meeting. So with that, we will begin with nominations for president of the commission.
We'll nominate Mr. Shell.
Nomination for Mr. Shell, and I will second that. I guess before we vote, Mr. Shell, you would be willing to accept?
Yes.
All right, with that, we will do a roll call motion. Mr. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lexi?
Aye.
Mr. Milborn?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Ms. Stambaugh?
Aye.
Mr. Peony?
Aye.
And Mr. Shell?
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0. Nominations for vice president of the commission.
I'll make a motion to continue with Mr. King.
Motion for me to continue as vice president.
Correct.
Second.
Second by Mr. Price. All right, and now a roll call vote. Mr. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lexi?
Aye.
Mr. Milborn?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Ms. Stambaugh?
Aye.
Mr. Peony?
Aye.
Mr. Shell?
Aye.
All right, that is 8-0. Next up is approval of minutes. Staff has informed us that the meeting minutes from December 8th, 2025 will be continued to January 26th. I don't know if there's anything you want to share about that with the commission. No. All right. Next up, special requests and continuances. First one listed is PC 2025-079 Swartz Farm zone map change. It's noted staff is requesting continuance.
Correct. Yep.
Due to no legal description, I assume for the.
Yeah, we weren't able to get a response from the petitioner in time, and I don't believe they have the legal description yet.
Do you know how long a reasonable period of time is for them to sort through whatever their issues are so they can determine their zoning areas?
I don't, I think their issue seems to be sanitary sewer, so I would imagine that's going to take some time to leak out.
I would recommend then that you think about what is a reasonable period to continue this to. Whether to do it just 2 weeks or 4 weeks. I mean, if it's sanitary sewer route, they're trying to determine that could take a month or so. So you might want to take that into consideration when you are determining a date for the continuance.
We really, we say to
You
whenever.
do not, but whatever you think is, I don't want you to do 2 weeks or 4 weeks and then people show up who are here and then, oh gosh, we're continuing again, and then they got to keep coming back. I don't want that to happen.
How many times have we continued them? Once.
So
So we probably at least a month.
do you know your,
To be safe.
is that okay with staff? I mean, do you think that's?
A month, sure. I don't know if the petitioner's here this week, but
All right, yeah, go ahead.
I just don't want this to keep happening.
Understood. John Cunningham with J. Allen Associates. Neither do I. Do we, when we have two of these back to back. So on this one in particular, yes, I believe a month is adequate.
It's reasonable? Okay.
Yes.
So that would put you to the February
9th.
meeting, yeah. It's February 9, 2026. Or a motion to continue this matter.
With it being a zone map change, staff, is the ninth fine? I mean, are we gonna overload a meeting if we dump a zone map change onto that?
That would be planning commission. So doesn't have a limit.
Well, like he's asking, do you know what the agenda items are? Has anything been filed for the February 9th meeting that we might be overloading an agenda?
So we're not here till that meeting. Not that I'm aware of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid like zone map change, zone map change, zone map change, to where like Ms. Stample and I are just exhausted. So February, which is February 9th.
February 9th.
Is the rec-
Continue February 9th.
Motion by Ms. Stambaugh to continue to February 9th. Second by Mr. Walker. Any last comments? All right, roll call vote. Mr. Walker.
Aye.
Mr. Price.
Aye.
Mr. Lexi.
Aye.
Mr. Milborn.
Aye.
I am an aye. Ms. Stambaugh.
Aye.
Mr. Peony.
Aye.
Mr. Shell.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0. So that one will be moved to February 9th. So if you're here for the Swartz Farms zone map change, that'll be on February 9th. That's it right now. All right, the other special request and continuance is PC 2025-081, church property zone map change. Staff is requesting continuance, also to no legal description being present.
In case.
Yep,
I move to continue this to February 9th.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Lexi to move to February 9th, second by Mr. Milborn. Any comments, discussion? Is that petitioner? Petitioner's agreeing that that's fine. All right. If no comments, then we'll turn to a roll call vote. Mr. Walker.
Aye.
Mr. Price.
Aye.
Mr. Lexi.
Aye.
Mr. Milborn.
Aye.
I also am an aye. Ms. Stambaugh. Mr. Peony.
Aye.
Mr. Shell.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0, so it's also continued to February 9th. There are no findings of fact. Both docket items under old business were just continued to the February 9th meeting of the Planning Commission. Any old business from the floor? Seeing none. New business, PC 2025-084, Adkins Johnson primary plat. This will be a public hearing. Petitioner is Curtis Musi, okay. On behalf of Grand Communities LLC requesting primary plat approval for approximately 32.96 acres located in the northwest corner of Smoky Row Road and Hunting Creek Road. All those wishing to speak to this, please stand and be sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear under penalties for perjury the testimony you are about to give is true to the best of your knowledge? And I would request after you speak, there's a notepad and pen on the desk behind the podium. Please write your name and address again for the record, even though you will state it, so we make sure it's correct.
Mr. Musey, if you want to step on up. While he's stepping up, I want to explain for a public hearing, the petitioner and all those in favor will have a combined 15 minutes to speak for it. Those wishing to speak against will have a combined 15 minutes. So regardless, 15 minutes is up whether one person uses it all or three.
Yeah, I do have a very small presentation I'd like to.
We'll help you.
Present on the website. Yeah. I'm using arrow keys and slides, not space. Thank you very much. My name is Curtis Musey, address 3940 Olympic Boulevard, Erlanger, Kentucky. That's 41018. I'm here to represent Grant Communities and Fisher Homes. I'm just giving you a little history of the project here. We'll turn to this. This was our initial primary plat submitted. We came from a recent rezoning approval in December. We are routing our commitments for signatures. We've submitted this primary plat in mid-November, received comments in December, and we're currently working through those comments now. We were heard at TRC last week, January 7th, recommended for a conditional approval. So I will turn to this plan here, which will be the new plat to be submitted, addressing agency comments. It is the same 49 lot count, 49 units over approximately 32.96 acres, 1.72 density. It is currently zoned RM. We will meet all zoning requirements, and lot sizes will be 10,000 or greater. And really, I'm just here for any questions on the plat, as this is not formally been approved yet. And like I said, we were heard last week on TRC when this would still be the current plat being reviewed. So really, I'll open that up to you and let you ask any questions if you have it on this regard.
We'll, the commission will get a chance after everybody. We close the public hearing. So if that's all you got, what I'll do is I'll turn it over to anyone speaking against, and then we'll come back to questions.
Thank you very much.
Council, David Kern, this is Diana Kern. We are at 1296 Smoky Road, which is the property directly to the west of the Warren property. We did provide you with an email and a certified letter. I hope you've all had a chance to look at that. The reason I bring that up is that it does have a lot more detail in it. I know we're on a time crunch, so.
Let me pause real quick. I don't have that.
It was received. I have a certified notification.
Oh, which I'm, yeah, but I don't, the commission.
I sent
I
it.
know personally how could have went to Gates.
It was sent to the email that was listed in the letter that we received
Was it Gmail?
on the 2nd of January. It was sent from myself, Diana M. Curran,
Do you recall, was it to the planning at Greenwood or to the planning
Exact email that was listed in the letter.
at Greenwood?
And I also sent it USPS.
I'm sure it would.
Sorry, I didn't look it up.
Yeah, you can go ahead and recap it. Unfortunately, none of the commissioners.
I didn't do it.
That's unfortunate because we had a lot more detail in there. That would help.
Well,
be
you can,
helpful.
you can
So-
recap and then you can actually submit it into the record and it will be entered into the record.
So as I mentioned, we live right next door. Neither of us are in favor of subdivisions, but we're not here tonight to oppose that because we realize that's a futile effort. We're here to ask council's assistance in mitigating some concerns and issues that we have so that we can continue just to coexist with this new neighborhood that's coming in. So one of our primary concerns is can be summarized as a privacy and safety measure. We do have equine livestock. We have horses and donkeys on our property. These animals are by nature a prey animal, so they're very susceptible to unusual lights, unusual noises, things along that line that cause high anxiety and stress in those animals that can lead to health issues. This is something that's documented. It's not just an opinion. It's documented out there. Plenty of sources to verify that. So what we're asking is to require a privacy fence along that section of bordering property, as well as some sort of landscaped berm to help create a buffer for the health and well-being of those animals. This will also, from a safety standpoint, this will also help to reduce the possibility of trespassing by, curious children, teenagers, whatever it may be, so that they are not coming on our property thinking that this is an open petting zoo. We want to avoid that at all costs. Another concern that we have is, as you know, we are part owners of a private drain that runs across the property. We would like to request there be some documentation recorded that maintains that there will be no modification of that drain in any manner. It cannot be utilized for any kind of drainage for this property.
One other addition, that was the first time we saw this new plat, and this new plat appears as though there are homes that are over the right of way of the private drain. So that is another additional concern that came up just while that plat was shown.
Another issue with the plat that we received, a couple of issues with that. For one, it's been scaled down to a point where most of it's not legible. So we would like to request in the future that a legible version be provided so that we can adequately see what's happening. The version that we have, I'm not certain on the new one, but it actually shows the Smoky Row Road literally going through our house. So I'm hoping that's just a scaling problem, and we'd like to have that clarified. And we want to, our house is already close to the existing road, and we want to make sure that there is a safety, feature there, buffer with a new version of the road. Next up is the boundaries. Like the topics before, this whole area is based on meets and bounds. There are no legal surveys recorded. So we would like to request that the developer actually perform and record a proper survey at their expense so that we can have firm boundaries and have it documented with the county appropriately. This will keep everything clear for future issues, stakeholders, sells of property, whatever it may be. So basically, like I said, we're looking to just get some support from the council to help maintain an area that we can coexist with this new subdivision and continue to live as we have been. We have been in this location for over 20 years. We're not looking to move. And we're just looking for your help to make sure that we can stay there and continue to live as we are.
The only thing about the Smoky Road design, one thing that wasn't mentioned, our existing utilities are there very close to the road. So if that road was to extend north, there's an issue there. Our utilities for our home, aside from, the apparent road going right through our bedroom. That's a concern. So I think that's all.
Okay.
And I can clarify or add to.
Again, if the commission has any questions, once the public hearing is closed, commissioners, they can ask you, they can ask the petitioner their questions then.
Okay.
Do you want this, or do you want us to hang on to it for the questions?
Is it an extra one that you have?
Yes, I brought it just in case.
Okay, to the secretary, former secretary there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to pass it down so they can
sure.
have a look at it all.
Hello, my name is Montel Johnson. I live at 1903 West 600 North Tracy Road. It's the house east of the transformer station there. If you've been through there. The main concerns, I've been in that house going on 38 years. I didn't expect to see housing additions out the window every day, but that's progress. I can deal with it. I'd like to know that there's going to be some kind of buffer put along the road, that'd be 200, so I don't have to stare at houses. Because didn't move out there wanting to do that, and I'm too far gone to be able to leave it. So the other concern is that much like the prior, I don't understand the road drawing. I was in charge of the armories for 40 years, and the upgrade on the armories in the state. So I'm somewhat of an engineer, a project manager. I'd like to see drawings that extend whatever they're planning or what they think they're planning into the intersection and out of the intersection onto the roads that are converging on the property. Kind of ends. I don't know what they're doing into what would be Tracy Road, nor do I know what they're doing on 200. And it's really the traffic that concerns me. They put up, I think in that mile south of there, they put up 1,400 homes and they're still going. So traffic's going to get pretty serious right there. Yes, and you also want roundabout there. Don't blame you. It's going to get worse. So I'd like to see what's going to go on there. I don't know if that's really a concern with the plot or how that gets out there. Because I'm not actually in Greenwood. Your Greenwood cuts diagonal across the property in front of me. I don't actually meet and bound on Greenwood property. So I'd really like to know how they're going to extend Tracy Road there at the end and what they're going to do, shoulders, those kinds of things, because much like them, my house was built in, I think, 1923, and it's only 17 feet off the edge of the Turner Road. It's quite close. So anything that happens is going to definitely deter on the property. And that's really all I have. Thank you. Is the electric board here? No one from the electric? If they block the water, it's going to end up in that electric plant. Because I'm noticing the water's already increasing on my property just from them putting in the solar field behind me. They put that berm across there. They told me they wouldn't do it. I told them that would increase water. The water is now 2.5 inches higher than it ever was in the area that I measured on that corner of my property after that last rain. It was never there. It's 2.5 inches higher. So something's going on. People need to.
Mr. Musi, you get 5 minutes rebuttal.
Thank you very much. Trying to address all these comments as they came in. Regarding the privacy fence and landscape buffer, I cannot commit to a privacy fence tonight, but I can commit to a substantial landscape buffer along the entire western portion of the property, which is, I believe, their biggest concern there. There are a couple homes shown over the existing legal drain. Those would require some of that drain to be refilled to work through the site. So there is some modification to that drainage network as depicted on the plat. Regarding the road that goes west, that was previously shown as a cul-de-sac, addressing agency comments, which was to extend that road west. That is why that is now shown as a stub street going west. But if we could have a cul-de-sac, that honestly would be our preference. That was the version of the plan previously submitted with our first bill. And then we do have an Alta survey, and the boundaries will be recorded as we record the plat, so the parent parcel as well as the lots that we create within it. Regarding Tracy Road, right now our road improvements are on the Honey Creek Road, so there are no road improvements requested or proposed to Tracy Road. And then regarding the buffers along our frontage, we will have substantial berms and evergreens as well as deciduous trees there. So there will be a heavily landscaped buffer along all of our road frontage.
All right.
Thank you.
So that is just fine.
Were any of the remonstrators wishing to use your 5 minutes for closing remarks?
Diane Curran again. My concerns over what he mentioned on the private drain, unclear yet if that's gone through Johnson County Drainage Board for approval, but this is recorded with Johnson County as we are part owners of this drain, and that drain cannot be modified without our approval. It is recorded with Johnson County, and I didn't bring it tonight, but I do have that documentation. So I'm concerned by what he said around we'll have to reconstruct part of that drain. We do not give, I want to make it very clear, we are not giving approval for that drain to be modified as owners of that drain. So that is a concern for us. As far as the bufferage, I would like to understand what substantial means. Substantial to you may be different than substantial to me. So I'd like to know what that distance is and what that includes, right? Since the construction has gone on the south side of Smoky Brook, I've used that property to walk on the sidewalks. I understand what designs look like. I'm there almost every day. I appreciate those pathways to walk on. It will not, not ever say that. But they do though have pathways around the stormwater basins. And so I do have concerns that there may be walkways around the stormwater basins that run right along our property, which is also just inviting more animal interaction. And we really do have concerns with the animal interaction. I did have in the letter, we have had previous people on that property surveying over the past 5 to 6 years. And I have actually stopped individuals who have reached through the fence to pet our animals. We have no trespassing signs along that entire length of our entire pasture. So that is a very high concern for us.
Yeah, just the road issue, you still need clarification on Smoky Road. What he was discussing is in the subdivision, that's not what we were talking about. So we do still need clarification on that.
Okay. And with that, I will close the public hearing and turn it over to staff for their comments.
Staff provided a favorable recommendation with the conditions outlined in the TRC report. Do you need me to read those?
Commitments are recorded at city staff.
Well, there are recommended conditions from the tech review that
Do any of the commissioners have questions?
I have a ton.
Go for it.
Okay, don't understand wildlife, like equine stuff, but I do understand that, as you said, Alyssa, that we don't have a minimum foot landscape buffer in that, like, there's not a 1, 2, or 300 minimum in that space, because it would be 2 different planning areas.
They're both residentially zoned. So there isn't a buffer required.
Okay, even though, okay. So, but developer is willing to consider a significant landscape buffer. And when I looked it up, it said 100 to 300 was an average practice. Is that even possible? Feet? Like, when you're saying this significant buffer, because that was one of their questions, is that something that's even possible based on the knowledge of the terrain and how much space you even have? So that's a question I have to commissioners and to people. And then I am really concerned about the interactions with the animals. I'm a public health professional. I know how dangerous it can be for animals and for humans. So I want to know that there's some kind of commitment that it can happen, that we could stipulate, if it's even possible as commissioners to stipulate that. When I looked it up, some cities have put in a couple of different things. Street lighting that's installed adjacent to the equine facility has to have a dark sky compliant, should lead away from pasture areas. That was one that I just looked up. I don't know, it could also be something where future home buyers for Fisher Homes, and I don't know, I've never built Fisher, but like, can we make them sign like a disclosure stating that they have to comply being so close? I mean, they've been around for 20 years. So I'm kind of advocating here on the fact that there's a public health issue that's going to happen if we don't address these here. So.
While he's taking notes. Mr. Musi, if you want to respond to that, you're welcome to approach the podium.
Yes, regarding substantial, I was referring to the density, not necessarily the width of the buffer. So a 100 or a 300 foot buffer would not work in this particular site just because of the boundary that we have to work in. But regarding the density of it, we could plant a staggered row of evergreens every 50 feet. So every 50 feet, and then below it over every 50 feet. So it would be a double row of evergreens based on a 50-foot offset. This is what I would refer to as a substantial planting buffer. And then regarding the not touching livestock or trespassing, going over the fence, we could potentially put something in the HOA bylaws that spells that out, that no one from this property can obviously trespass or harass any animals, if that would appease.
So typically HOAs aren't owned by the people that live in that area until you guys are done building. So that I don't want it to be a problem tomorrow or 20 years from now. Say my kids buy a house in that neighborhood, I want to make sure their kids are safe, or not, not understanding the rules in that area. So.
Well, the CCR they'll be recorded and they would run with the land. So anybody, whether it's a first-time home buyer, first-time buyer for the community, or 3 home buyers after that person, I mean, they would have to sign the bylaws when they buy a lot in the subdivision that would reference that.
And the animal interaction, the animal noise pollution, what thoughts do you guys have on
regarding noise pollution,
So noise can be, in the world of public health, it can be physical, it can be visual, it can be audio, it can be smells. I mean, they're farmers, so there could be smells that the people have to do, you know what I mean? So it can be anything from both perspectives. I'm just curious what you guys are going to do to help mitigate some of that.
well, from the mitigation standpoint, during construction, we will obviously have to work within defined operating hours. But after that, I don't think there's any additional commitment that we could put on our future homeowners to not make noise essentially.
Speaking as someone who's lived around farms, I think the question Ms. Stambaugh is posing is, the mitigation might be, and I'm not saying that it's anything negative, sometimes animals smell. So you may want to mitigate it. That buffer may be needed as a mitigation going to your property, I think, is more what she's saying.
Well, and light pollution.
And light pollution,
Yeah, animals need to sleep, and if they are being witness to the garage doors, you know, like in my neighborhood, we have to have our lights on at all times in the garage. We can't turn them off, actually, so. Just curious, just asking, I'm sure you've ran, Fisher Homes has ran a process at some point, I'm sure, and so other builders have, right? Like, this isn't a,
I run across it every day.
okay. There's gotta be solutions here to help the people that have been here for 20 years, but also help progress our city.
It's tough. I mean,
And what are, if you're
There's
gonna
commitments
post, if
that I-
you're gonna post a commitment on, what do you suggest? Because this body will be the one that.
I'm
places it on
inquiring
there.
among my commissioners,
Yeah.
what would they suggest?
This is, the problem with this is the thing that they tell you in property law, first day of class. If you want to control the property next door to you, you need to own it.
Buy it.
Right.
it's tough to control the kids that come over and all that. I mean, you could put it in writing for adults to know what the commitments are. But an 8-year-old to 15-year-old, I can tell you firsthand, I deal with it every day. I mean, that's just part of living subdivisions around.
We
here.
understand
We
that.
understand it's not gonna be 100%.
Yeah.
But if we could significantly reduce the traction and.
Have you guys priced a property fence? Have you got a price on a fence that runs along your?
We spent the last better half of the last 3 to 4 years beautifying our fence and replacing it. It used to have a cattle fence that was really terrible with a lot of living fence. And one of our donkeys decided he found a hole. So we spent every waking hour we had for the last 2-3 summers replacing our fence. With that, we did remove quite a bit of the living fence. So we have been maintaining probably 20 feet or more on the opposite side of our property for almost as long as we have lived there anyway. So we don't mind maintaining additional footage on the other side of our fence because we do want to keep the weeds down on our fence. But a full fence, yes, I can tell you exactly the price because I know the exact footage price that we pay for every foot of that fence.
Right.
And it's not in, you know, our budget. It might be in Fisher Homes budget though.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Because I could see dogs getting out of their fences, fenced in 10,000-foot plot and
Yeah.
going to play with the donkeys, like, like,
And that is actually a very good point, and I'm sorry if I'm speaking out of turn. Donkeys are actually very dangerous for dogs and will kill small animals because they are herd animals. They want to protect their herd. And we actually had an incident on our property where our neighbor's dog was in with our donkeys, just relaxing. And our donkeys have been around that dog many times, but that one day, they went after him and started to trample him. So if a neighbor's dog gets into our property, who's responsible for that? I'm gonna tell you, I can't be responsible for somebody else's animal or person for being on our property.
does vegetative screening work? Like what he was recommending with the doors and windows, evergreen style?
Probably, you just gotta keep up with it growing out, it's constant. You know, you rent a Bobcat, that's $1,500 a weekend. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff we can do. The worst day there is in the year is 4th of July.
Yes.
It sounds like World War III.
Yeah.
And I had dogs in one of our barns and it was a nightmare. You're just hoping you can keep them contained for one night while everybody just blew the place up. So that is, but I don't know what you do about it.
Yeah, even, I mean, the working hours is a concern that he stated because the property south of us, they don't adhere to working hours. I promise you they do not. I don't know what Greenwood's working hours are, but I promise you they're not adhering to them. And we hear their noises constantly and the slam of their dump trucks. I can hear the slam of their dump truck from 3 or 4 streets away in my bed.
So question, is that planning staff or is that code enforcement?
Well, we have a noise ordinance that says you are not supposed to operate equipment except between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. So that would be, the police could write a ticket for that because you're violating our noise regulations.
Is that 24/7?
Beg your pardon?
Is that 24/7? 7 to 7?
Yes, that's 7
I'm
days
sorry,
a
not
week.
24/7. Is that
If you
7
have any
days?
noise
Yeah,
regulations, if you are in the corporate limits of the city of Greenwood, now if you're outside, our ordinance would not apply to what's going on outside our boundaries.
I would,
Yeah.
I would say you gotta be careful with that. Cause, you know, if you worry about other people making noise, you know, for me, sometimes I have to get that tractor out at 5 in the morning, cause I work a full-time job, it's the only time I can get it done. And my neighbors don't ever call the police on me, but they probably could.
Well, what's gonna be the response to the donkeys braying all
Well,
hours of the day and night?
That's what I'm
With the-
saying.
With the noise, that's why we put in our letter and our request, the noise barrier, because the donkeys are very loud.
That's what I'm saying, you know, that back and forth on noise gets to be
Sounds like noise needs to be code.
it's just
It
tough.
depends on what it is. If it's something like a noise ordinance violation, typically the police do that. If it's nuisances, it's code enforcement. If you have an animal that becomes a nuisance, then it would be our code enforcement folks who would be called and who would investigate that.
But then like going back,
to the buffer, the barrier, right, the work, I think having some sort of a living, some, berm with, big trees, something along that line is going to help a lot with the noise, the smell, the deterrent, because they're not seeing donkeys as much. And the other one too, it's gonna, with the donkeys, if they can't see, strange activity in these backyards, patio lights, party lights, whatever, it'll help them as well. So.
And if we had this as a condition.
Well, I'd like to know about, we asked, a berm.
I'm calling it a vegetative screen.
Right, well, if you actually had a landscape berm, that's got height to it, but you'd have to have an awful lot of width in your boundary to be able to build it up and put the landscaping on top. If you had an actual berm, which is what the Kerns have
Which,
recommended or suggested, and I don't know how possible that is.
but Mr. Musi, you did speak to that, right?
The berm would be along our road frontage. There is not enough width between our lots and the western property line to commit to a berm, but we can commit to substantial landscape screening as specified.
Not along the property boundary.
And then
On the
my
western property line, yes, ma'am.
my question, I guess, for staff would be, if we do condition or commitment, whatever it is, then that puts these trees under the city's landscaping, so that way, if it falls into disrepair, let's say,
There would be a commitment enforcement by the planning staff.
yeah,
Or by property owners who are interested party, usually those defined as who live within 300 feet of the boundaries of the lot or the spot where it's a lot.
but I guess my question is, that then gives the city room to act if it needs to, let's say, 20 years from now, 10 years.
If it's not maintained.
If it's
that
not
would be a commitment violation that would require enforcement action.
So I just kind of want to make sure that,
And there are differences. Conditions are things that need to be met for someone to go forward. A commitment is something that is permanent, that must permanently be maintained.
Okay, so we're gonna have 5 conditions.
So you're gonna have conditions that they have to meet for their plat to be approved. If you want commitments to actually go with the plat that will run with the land and need to be recorded, we have to specify that as a commitment
Right.
And we have to make sure we prepare the commitment document and that's recorded to go with plat.
The one other I have, before I ask of the other commissioners, is the question about where the road is in the plat, I guess, that was shown on your presentation.
Yes, is there a way I can pull the prior presentation back up? Apologies.
We'll let someone.
Yeah, so. I'll let you speak to that.
I just can't see it from back.
Yeah,
We haven't seen this version
yeah,
yet.
this is new to us.
So I believe they were speaking about the area where we are going to be dedicating right of way, where the dash lines are in the southwestern corner there. They had some questions as to what that would be. We are not making any road improvements to Smoky Row Road. There is a path that is required along our right of way, but other than a path, a foot wide trail, that is all we're doing along that.
That's solid line right there.
The existing road edge is shown by the dash line here, and then the darker line is our right of way dedication. And then the line right off of the dark line in between the dash line is the width of the path there. Lower side. That's what.
So the roadway in front of our home will not be modified.
We are not making any modifications to the road.
That's not super clear in this, so I appreciate the description. There's a lot of dotted lines, and a lot of lines.
There's always a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the paper that was this big, it was this big.
So, Alyssa, oh, sorry. Oh, I do have a question for planning staff. There was just a couple of notes in your TRC. One of them was Mr. Rumble wanted, in this statement, a hammerhead turnaround for the cul-de-sac, for the one or the other, obviously, hammerhead or cul-de-sac. Did you guys want, I mean, how, have you negotiated further, discussed it further, or is it something that needs to be also added?
Staff comment, the condition of all staff comments need to be addressed, would fall under that.
So you guys are good with, okay. So I was just asking Shauna.
Curtis, you've got a cul-de-sac at the end of the one road, right?
That was the plan that had not been resubmitted, so. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So this is the plan that everyone here is probably more familiar with. This was our first submitted primary plat. We did receive comments, and as part of those comments, we were required to provide a stub connection to the west as well as to the north of the school property. So you see where the cul-de-sac once was compared to approximately where that bulb is or eyebrow. That has been shifted, addressing comments like so.
Yeah. So you're saying, and you have to, they want a connection on the west.
That's correct. Just for future planning purposes. And I can't speak to planning staff. That is a common request to larger parcels to substreet.
Yeah.
Well, it's just going along the front. You would stop there. And then there may be a path that comes through.
So that's
that solid line is just like the boundary line. That's very. That's just an offset for and for this flash. We are 30 feet off. Essentially.
And normally.
I guess the way I view this is the Kearns property is here, right?
Yeah.
this is a lot of mitigation by the developer already. They've got a common area all the way here to here. They only have 2 residences bordering the Kearns property. And then they've got common area here along with, probably, is this your lake?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Retention
so
pond,
that's a
too.
retention pond. So we're talking about only 2 houses adjacent to the Kearns property, not a whole neighborhood.
Is that the drain you're speaking of coming out of the northwest?
The one that's diagonally.
Diagonal.
I mean, it seems like they're asking for a lot. 2 houses.
The stub streets, I mean, I've got a bunch of them stubbed all over the place. I mean, it's
Well,
just
stub
kind of part of
streets are
it.
required by our UDO
Yeah.
to accommodate in the event there's future development.
That's
They
what
usually have you stub streets.
I'm
I'm just surprised at us. We haven't seen that yet.
It's not a bad thing if you do decide to want to do something.
So sorry, which vegetation barrier, that's what you call it?
Vegetation screen.
That would be along the entire property,
Yes, sir.
Along the entire west side.
west
Yes.
side.
Okay.
And I assume that, like you said, it would be all set.
Yes, it would be staggered, so it would be essentially a double row.
From the property line, it would be.
Yes, we would not plant them directly on your property line.
So
That's
if it would help as a compromise, obviously with pasture, weed control is important for us. I would have no problem helping maintain that space, even though it's not ours.
Mhm. Well, and all of that would be an open space, and all of our open spaces are maintained in perpetuity with our HOAs. So that would have a maintenance plan associated with it that would also help protect those trees.
Yeah, so that's part of what I was asking also, is that if we put this as a commitment, and it falls into disrepair, let's say 10 years from now, we'll just say, it's built, developers moved on, and trees are dying, no one's doing anything about it. The city planning staff can then come in and say, there's a commitment violation. Deal with this, HOA, deal with this, interested owners.
I just wanted to provide that offer as a
Yeah.
compromise.
Which that would really be between outside the city. Mr. Milborn, you had something?
Yeah, the only thing I was in the back of my head, once the developer is finished, he's out the door and they've sold the homes, then you are no longer responsible for doing any of the maintenance and everything. It then becomes the job of the HOA. So something like that should be put in their covenants and the rules and regulations. So that, and I know because I'm president of the HOA here in town, and it's a headache keeping up on everything.
Is that something we can put in?
Huh?
Is that something we can put into the motion? Is it something that's difficult?
Well, yeah, we got stuff in ours like no swimming pools, no sheds.
No, not to the HOA, but into this motion.
Oh,
As
don't
part of the commitment that they're going to put up a vegetative buffer, and it must
Yeah.
be maintained by the HOA.
We could put that in the CCRs of the HOA as well, so it is in writing for everyone.
Then it will be included in the covenants
Yes,
of the subdivision.
yes.
One thought, Mr. Macy, the drain, since it falls into the authority of the county drainage board, have you guys gone to them to say, hey, we're gonna need to modify this?
Not yet, not with this particular modification. And that's kind of highlighted right here. Really, it's 2 lots, lot 23, 24, 13, and 12, where the drain tile just runs diagonally through the property. And with this, we would propose to make it more 90 degrees, so we can still provide the easement, but not have it running diagonally through the property.
Yeah, okay. I just kind of wanted to address that concern. I don't have anything else. Have I missed any of the commissioners? All right. With that, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the proposed Atkins Johnson primary plat for residential subdivision submitted by Bayer and Baker on behalf of Grand Communities LLC, docket PC 2025-084, subject to the 5 conditions recommended by the technical review committee. The minutes are recorded, that the city staff and outside review comments are addressed, that final outside review approval is obtained, that correct layout of the roundabout is provided, and that an adequate discharge point is identified and a recorded easement is provided to a water of the United States and or regulated trade, and with the following condition, commitment, sorry, that's what I meant to say. That a substantial landscape screening shall be required along the entirety of the shared property line to the west of nearing the equine facility. For the buffer to include a combination of fencing and or vegetative screening adequate to incorporate agricultural and equine compatibility measures to mitigate negative impact, to be reviewed and approved by the planning staff prior to the secondary plat. And this should be included in the covenants of the subdivision. And finally, that all future home buyers receive an agricultural operations disclosure note adjacent, I don't know how to say that, but that an active equine facility
Adjoins them.
adjoins them, right, and it's in their closing documents, and they need to adhere to the HOA stuff. I had to do that really fast.
Email that to your
Oh,
recording
yeah.
secretary.
I'm just gonna copy and paste it as I have it, so it's the way I said it.
All right, a motion by Ms. Stanball. Do I have a second by Mr. Milborn? Last chance for comments or questions. All right, seeing none, Mr. Walker.
Aye.
Mr. Price.
Aye.
Mr. Lexi.
Aye.
Mr. Milborn.
Aye.
I also am an aye. Ms. Stanball.
Aye.
Mr. Peony.
Aye.
Mr. Shell. Oh, IT, can you put him back up, please? We need to be able to see Mr. Shell when he votes.
I can see me.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Aye.
All right. Motion carries 8-0. So, thank you. Next up is PC 2025-040 Honey Creek Section 4 Landscape Waiver. Petitioner is Kevin Sumner on behalf of Lennar Homes requesting a subdivision waiver from the following section. Section 10-03-06H, streetscaping, to relocate 19 of the required 139 street trees to common areas and buffer yards. This is not a public hearing, so, but all those wishing to speak, please step up.
Mr. Venter is.
Oh, there. Mr. Venter, are you?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everybody.
Can we get your name and address for the record, please?
Greg Binter, Lennar Homes of Indiana, 11555 North Meridian Street, Suite 400.
All right, go ahead, sir.
We respectfully ask for a landscape waiver for the trees. This is because of driveway location and utilities. We will still put up the correct amount of trees, just asking for different locations for these, like we have on the past with this development.
All right. Commissioners, anything?
Is that favorable to the planning commission?
Staff?
Staff is favorable. We have a condition in here that priority tree placement relocates in common areas with trails, placing the trees near the trail line.
Nothing else? Easy enough. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
Concern PC 2025-040, I move that the request of the engineers on behalf of our Homes of Indiana LLC for the waiver of the requirement of the Unified Development Ordinance, Greenwood Municipal Code Section 10-3-6, landscaping and buffering, that specifies planting of one street tree per 40 linear feet of frontage on center to allow relocation of 24 of the required 121 street trees to common areas and buffer yards around the subject property, due to driveway and utility location conflicts. Be approved with the condition that the priority tree replacement relocates in common areas with trails, placing the trees near the trail alignment, and the planning commission find Lennar Homes of Indiana LLC has met the criteria set forth by the Greenwood Municipal Code, section 10-4-03K, for the waiver, for the reasons set forth in its request for the waiver and as presented.
Motion by Mr. Walker, second by Mr. Price. All right, with that, a roll call vote. Mr. Walker.
Aye.
Mr. Price.
Aye.
Mr. Lexi.
Aye.
Mr. Milborn.
Aye.
I also am an aye. Ms. Stanball.
Aye.
Mr. Peony.
Aye.
Mr. Shell.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0. The waiver is approved. Thank you, Mr. Bennett.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Everyone have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Any new business from the floor? Seeing none, any announcements? Seeing none, one last motion.
To adjourn.
So moved.